Good morning, sixth graders. Welcome to our next week of math. I'd like to say last week of math. We're getting closer though. I mean, we have just a few more lessons to cover, and the end of the year slowly wrapping up. So, well, let's get into it. And we have lesson 91, which is the title of it is called Probability and Chance. And this can be a little tricky, I know. And so we're going to walk through it. I've actually taken photocopies of the book so I can walk through it. And please have your book following along with me. And then we'll do some things related to it to kind of help you through it. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at it. Probability, and like I said, I'm just going to slide this up. It says, imagine you are flipping a coin. All right, now, I paused there because I forgot to get my coins. So anyway, imagine you're flipping a coin. So I've got a picture of a penny up here, and I'm going to have another one in my hand. How many different outcomes are possible? All right, for every penny, we have a heads, we have a tails. They are, it's synonymous. Doesn't matter how many times I flip it, I'm still going to have a possibility of two. All right, so there are only two, heads and tails. If we ask what is the probability of getting heads, we are asking how likely is it that heads will turn up when a coin is flipped. All right, so again, this is the key phrase. What is the probability? What is the chance of getting heads? We're asking the likelihood of heads will turn up when a coin is flipped. So no matter how many times I have, 1 out of 2. Okay, that time I have, whoops, drop my pick coin. Let's try it again. Flip the coin. And I still dropped. Hard to catch those coins. Let's see what it lands up. It's still flipping, and it's heads. So I have the chance. I won that time. Okay, let's go this time. This time, if it lands up heads, you guys owe me a dozen chocolate chip cookies. If it ends up tails, well, I'll think about it. And so I sit there and I have that. It's heads. I don't care who gets me chocolate. No, just kidding, of course. You don't have to give me a chocolate chip cookie. As I look like I need chocolate chip cookies. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue. The number of the ratio is the number of the way of the desired or favored even can happen. The denominator of the ratio is the total number of outcomes possibility. In this case, the probability of favored outcomes of heads is 1 out of 2. Number to favor, number of possibilities. Two-sided coin, that's where the denominator comes from, or the most possibilities that can happen. The number of favored outcomes, we're looking for how many heads can happen, 1 time. All right, now, if I did something like this, where I bring in a second coin, and I put a coin in each hand and flipped it, what are the probability of getting a heads that time? Well, if I flip it twice, then I'm going to have 2 possibilities coming in because there's 2 coins. So again, it's just a matter of how many possibilities you can do. Let's slide it up. Example 1. What is the possibility of a toss coin landing tails up? All right, 1 out of 2. The favorable outcome is the question is tails up. So favorable, possible. Favorable is what you're choosing. Possible is what are the choices. All right, now let's go ahead and go to the next section. Example 2, page 439. If I get it on the screen correctly. What is the possibility of drawing an ace from a normal deck of 52 cards? Discussing the composition of a normal deck of 52 cards is what I'm going to talk about with you guys real quick. Because if you take a look at it, it says an ace. Well, and there are 4 suits. So each suit, which means hearts, diamonds, spades, and clubs, are the 4 suits. So that means there are 4 aces that are in there. All right, that's where they get this 4 favorable chance out of the 52. The 4 is because 1 for each suit. The total of cards is 52. All right, so when I look at that, I'm going to look at recall that we reduce ratios when possible. So that means we started off with 4 out of 52. Can I reduce that if it was just a typical fraction? And again, notice favorable one on top. Yes, I can. It's going to reduce down to a common number they both share. All right, can 4 go into 4? Yes, it can, which equals 1. Can 4 go into 52? Yes, it can, 13. So the favorable, when is out of the 52, I can reduce it to a ratio of 1/8 out of 13 cards. That is reduced. That's the favorable outcome. And I always reduce, whenever possible, my ratio. Okay, now, let's slide it up. I'll clean up the board a little bit there. That is certain to happen has a probability of 1. All right, if we roll a common number cube, in other words, a dice, the possibility of rolling number less than 7 is 6 out of 6. All right, so if I had a dice, which I don't have one here at school, I wish I did, because I'm at home I have plenty. But anyway, if I have a dice, that means the choices there is I have one side of the dice which has 1 dot, I have another dice which has 2 dots, and another one which is 3, and another one that has 4, and another one that has 5, and then another one that has obviously the 6. And making those in there. So here's the deal. What they're saying is if I have, these are the possibilities if I roll a dice of getting one of these numbers, but they're saying a probability of rolling a 7 with one roll of a single cube number is 0 because there's no 7 as a choice. But yet if we keep on going and we take a look up here at the original sentence, it says less than 7. Well, we have 6 possibility numbers that are less than 7. So again, rolling it means, what I'm rolling is the chance part of it, but in one roll, am I going to get less than 7? Yes, I am. So it's 6 out of 6. 6 possible. So that's the fraction's going to be 6 out of 6. Now, let's flip the tide here. Let's say we go. What's the probability of rolling a 3 out of the chance of dice? If I take a 3, well, I have 6. A denominator of 6 because I have 6 different choices. How many 3s do I have? Well, I have 1. So that means I have 1 out of 6 chance to roll a 3. Same thing can be said for a 2. How many 2s can I roll? I have a chance of 1 out of 6. Okay? So those are kind of what they're talking about with favorable to what is the total amount. In other words, how many possibilities are there? All right, let's keep going through. It says the probability is sometimes expressed as a chance, written in percent. So what they're using is weather. Like for example, today I think the weather forecast is 60% chance of rain. That means the present time that when the conditions are as they are, when the barometric pressure, everything they tie into calculating weather, they've come up with a percentage which says 60% chance of rain, which also means 40% chance it's not going to rain. So, and we've seen it more times than not that we'll plan our activities. If it's only 20% chance of rain, I know in lawns I'll say, well, there's a good chance it won't rain today. But I got news for you. There's chances when it's 20% chance of rain and I've been out mowing and I've got rained on. So they can't predict the weather 100%. But they can, based on their technology, they try to do their best. All right, so let's kind of go through this. If it's 100% chance of rain, then it is certain to rain. Yes, that means all conditions, you better take an umbrella when you're going. If it's 50% chance of rain, then it's just as likely to rain as it's not to rain. That means 50-50 chance. The weather report stated that the chance of rain, example 3 here, on Tuesday is 40% chance. What is the percent then? Well, it's simple math. 100% is what we're working with, so 40% chance it's going to rain. What's the chance it will not rain? Well, 60%. Because 60 plus 40 equals 100%. So this is going to be not rain. So either it will rain or will it not rain. The combined probability of the two events is 100%. The probability of rain is 40%. The probability that it will not rain is 60%. So you kind of got an idea, but again, it may not be. Probability is just that. It's a chance. You know, you're predicting. And the only one that can predict what's going to happen this day is God. And we need to remember that. We can be as smart as we think we can be, but God still has the big picture and knows what's going to happen this day. He's ordained our steps ahead of us. All right, now, let's go to the last page. Practice problems. On practice A, on the bottom of page 440. All right, so let me get back there. I need to pull the probability on practice A. It says, what is the probability of rolling 6 with one roll of the number cube? Well, we just talked about that. One roll. Same thing we did with 6. So the only chance is we have one chance. So that practice A is 1 out of 6 because we have 1/6. That's all that we can do. That's all we can hope for with one roll. All right, now, going on. What is the probability of drawing a spade? Because you keep in mind, I said there's 4 suits. You have hearts, spades. Make sure I spelled that right. Yes, need. Clubs and diamonds. Those are the suits of a 52 card deck. All right, so what's the probability of drawing a spade from a normal deck of 52 cards? All right, well, if you count that, how can I figure out? We know we have 52. And that, 15. Let's try that again. 52. And to figure out the number, well, we got four different suits. We have to divide 4 into 52, which is going to give us 13. So that means there's 13, 13, 13, and 13, which equals 52. Now, when you have that in place, now the question states, all right, what is the probability of drawing an ace? Or back up. I got on the wrong page. Turn those over. What is the probability of drawing a spade from a normal deck of cards? Okay. Well, we have 1 category 13 out of 52 is a possibility, but we need to reduce it. All right, so because the 13 over 52 can be reduced. All right, so that means, oh wait, time out. Back up. Made a goof up there. I misread the question. 1352 can't. They're asking, what is the possibility of drawing a spade? You have 4 possibilities, so that means I have 1 out of 4. Because they're asking what is a possibility of drawing one of those. Since I have 4 suits, denominator is 4. Spades is 1, the only one of that coin, therefore 1 out of 4. My mistake, I was using cards instead of the spades. My goof up. All right, now let's go to C. If the chance of rain tomorrow is 60%, is it more likely to rain or not rain? All right, so on there, the answer to that one, C, and then this is 1/4, C is not rain. Because 60% chance it's going to rain, 40% not. All right, now that is basically the probability and chance. If you get stuck on some of those questions, and again, the activity coin toss, you can play around with that on page 440 too, and that can give you a little extra help as well. But again, take your time. Again, ask questions if you need it. We will be reviewing the lessons, giving points for that for each week, or for each day, the completion of the lesson. So have a good day. We'll talk to you later.